This week, cup winners, talent show winners, and wannabe winners. Hello and welcome to the first episode of a brand new series of 24/7. Yes, somehow we've got a second series. Well, that's the beauty of YouTube, when you can just recommission yourself. We start, unusually, with sport, as this week it was the FA Cup final. Now, last year we made rather a shambles of the pre-match protocol. Could we make a better job of it this year? That's more like it. We even got the full anthem in this year. Guy Mowbray was in the BBC commentary box as always and had a fascinating fact to kick off proceedings.
You only get to referee the FA Cup final once in your career, and this year the honour falls to Anthony Taylor.
Great fact, Guy. Now on with the match, and there was controversy right from the start.
Matic came across but couldn't prevent the ball inside to Ramsey. Sanchez, who's in quickly once more, and Sanchez is in to score. The flag is up though. The flag up against Aaron Ramsey.
It's a goal. He's not offside, Alexis.
Well, Ramsey didn't get involved because he realised
It's going to be a goal.
And Anthony Taylor is going to go across and have a word with Gary Beswick, the assistant referee.
No worries though, because the BBC had co-commentator Danny Murphy on hand to clarify the situation.
My instinct's the same as yours, Danny.
It's a goal. I mean, whether he gives it or not, it doesn't matter. It's a goal.
It doesn't matter whether he gives it or not, it's a goal. I'm not quite sure that's how it works, Danny, if he doesn't give it.
Ramsey looked as though he's about to touch the ball and then realised he would have been flagged offside. The flag then went up. I don't think you can blame Gary Beswick for that. And it is 1-0 to Arsenal.
Later on, he was making some odd noises as well.
The thing is, Arsenal are winning 1-0. Played brilliantly for half an hour. They've got a corner. And they don't get the first ball, and then the keeper rolls out to the box and it's a 5v4.
What noise was that? Was there some music we couldn't hear? Guy Mowbray was doing a sterling job as always, although he did break off from his commentary at one stage to promote his favourite restaurant.
Hazard, Pedro! He's put everything into it when he perhaps didn't need to. Subtlety was the key. He went for the sizzler.
Now, it was a very good final this year, so there weren't too many dull moments. However, in one slightly sluggish patch towards the start of the second half, I became interested in what was going round the advertising hoardings on the outside.
Own a seat at Wembley Stadium, yeah, that's interesting. Join Club Wembley today. Membership starts from £999. Should be able to take the seat home with me for that money.
Chelsea were definitely the favourites going into this match. However, their day was about to go from bad to worse in the 68th minute.
Moses down. Anthony Taylor had a really good look and waves Arsenal's way and may well give a yellow card. He will to Victor Moses, and that means his FA Cup final is over. What a big decision that is from the referee.
And they looked to have been dealt another blow as David Luiz was on the floor in the penalty area not long after. However, Danny Murphy didn't seem overly concerned.
Fight it over towards Gary Cahill, who can't get over the ball. David Luiz down after a collision.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's alright, how do you know? He's only just hit the floor.
However, champions can turn things around in a split second, and that's what Chelsea looked to have done at the hands of Diego Costa.
Diego Costa takes it down, and Diego Costa levels for Chelsea.
So it was anyone's game now. It was going to be surely going down to the wire, wasn't it?
Game on again in the FA Cup final. There's Giroud pulling it back. Arsenal in front once more. Aaron Ramsey scores for the Gunners.
Well, that didn't take long.
And here's Mesut Ozil. And Ozil checks. And Ozil hits the post. That was the chance to seal it once and for all for the Gunners.
Well, how calm was he there? He's done everything right. But the last bit of it hit the post.
Yeah, it was a good effort, although obviously he didn't score, did he? In fact, you can just imagine Roy Keane sat there now saying, well, it was a lot of people are saying it was a great shot. It wasn't a great shot, he missed it.
But it is Arsenal's FA Cup anyway. A small smile on the face of Arsene Wenger.
And the BBC rounded off their coverage with some brilliantly over-the-top graphics.
Always shows up for the ball, always plays the way he believes he should. Delighted for him.
7 times, Arsene Wenger.
It's some achievement.
Unbelievable.
Sticking with sport, it was dreamland for Huddersfield Town on Monday.
Yes, it's congratulations to Huddersfield Town, who are promoted to the Premier League after a very tense penalty shootout victory over Reading, following a very dull playoff final.
The news now, and away from the election, the main story of the week was the decision by Donald Trump to pull the USA out of the Paris Climate Agreement. As you can imagine, this didn't go down well in most quarters, with almost every other country in the world signing up to it. However, there were still people putting both sides of the story on the news.
The agreement includes a commitment to keep global temperature rises to well below 2 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, with an aspiration to an even stricter limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Nigel Farage was on the news, making the point that this was the sort of thing that Donald Trump had been elected to do. However, let's take a look at what clip the BBC used after Farage had finished speaking.
Unlike almost every other Western world leader, including Theresa May, he sticks to what he promised he would do. It's called democracy.
Some hot air.
I think Trump's decision is a reckless act of environmental vandalism.
Britain's Got Talent semi-finals week was upon us once more, leading up to Saturday's big final. On Monday, they were introducing us to their brand new set and studio, ahead of the first act to kick off the live shows.
Two six. Everything okay? Everything okay?
We're going to just stop it there. We've just had a few
Hold on.
problems, just a couple of technical issues. Our first act of the semi-final.
Cracking mess up there for the start. I mean, surely they'd put it right for Tuesday, wouldn't they?
So she is kicking off our second semi-final all the way from Malta. She has the whole of Malta behind her. And she's almost ready for us. We are in the final stages of getting ready for the second night in a row. The first act isn't quite going according to plan, ladies and gentlemen.
That's one thing about live.
Don't buzz me.
David Walliams' Golden Buzzer Act this year was Kyle Tomlinson, a young singer. He'd been on the show 2 years ago but got rejected. At least I think it was 2 years ago.
Next up is a singer who first auditioned for us 3 years ago and received some very harsh comments from David Walliams.
I first auditioned for Britain's Got Talent in 2015.
Yeah, that's 2 years ago.
And the journey you've been on through this show in the last few years, and you know, I was the bad guy, but maybe I gave you some good advice because this was world class.
Thank you, David. This is emotional. Alicia.
Amazing comeback, to come back 3 years later and stand up there. That was so much stronger than your audition, which I loved.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And like David said, it was from the heart. It was genuine. We couldn't ask for anything more. You smashed it. Well done.
Oh, I mean, my Britain's Got Talent bingo card is on fire here. I've got Journey, I've got Smashed It, I've got World Class. I've nearly got a line, frankly.
Next up tonight is a massive crew of talented dancers.
And that wasn't the only source of confusion either.
Who said they wouldn't be here without their coach.
Yes, well, there's 27 of them. They wouldn't fit in a taxi.
He's right. It's Empire Dance Crew.
We are Empire. We're a dance crew based in London. Empire's been around for a year now, and we are made up of 17 members.
17? Dex said 27 a minute ago. Where's the other 10 gone? Magic Act DNA were also up on Monday night. However, their acts started to stall a bit, not through any fault of their own, but through Simon Cowell's ability to leaf through a dictionary.
Simon, since the beginning of our performance, you've had a dictionary in front of you.
Yes, I have.
I'd like you to turn to page 1414. When you're on that page, I'd like you to look into the right-hand column. I'd like you to count down to the 11th word. The numbers are at the top, Simon.
Can you see 1414?
You're watching live dictionary searching on ITV.
Simon, that's page 1414.
We're trying to find it.
Come on, Simon, we haven't got all day.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing because one kind of carried over from the other, but we think it's probably.
Probably?
Yeah.
David, for the first time, please unfold your paper, show it to the camera, read aloud the word you chose.
Probably.
Thank goodness for that. It was an action-packed night on Monday, including this death-defying knife-throwing act. Simon Cowell, usually a fan of dangerous stunts, thought this one had stepped a bit too far.
Actually, I couldn't wait for it to end. You know what was so crazy is that we're playing this sort of like happy music. In the meantime, you're about to murder your wife. I mean, seriously, it's like that put me on edge.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd really class that as happy music, Simon. I think that'd be something more like this.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
Now, how do you style it out if you're planning on giving a standing ovation, but the other judges don't seem that interested? David Walliams found out on Monday.
Oh yeah, very good. Just get up. Oh no, dear. Those aren't bothering. Better sit that down.
In the results show, they were building up to a special duet, supposedly between Alfie Boe and Dame Vera Lynn. Dame Vera Lynn on Britain's Got Talent? Surely that wasn't going to happen, was it? No, it wasn't.
If we won Britain's Got Talent, we would take the whole school to Disneyland. We would upgrade all of our technology.
This year on Britain's Got Talent, they'd slightly changed the voting arrangements, meaning that there was no longer a judge's vote in the semi-finals. That meant they had a bit of time to fill, and they decided to fill it with a classic It Means So Much to Them VT package.
We would buy a Lamborghini for the school.
You'd buy a Lamborghini for the school? Why didn't you tell us that earlier? I'd have voted just to see that.
We've had nearly 1.5 million votes, which have been counted and verified.
The tension music on Britain's Got Talent probably didn't take much writing.
So, St. Patrick's and Miss Streets 5, one of you is in the top 3 and one of you is going home.
Basically just push a fader up and down.
The act that's in the top 3 is Miss Street 5!
Thursday night brought us something different as one of the contestants tried to break a balloon modelling world record. I'll leave the full explanation of what was going to happen to him.
Today I'm attempting the most difficult balloon modelling world record ever set. Okay, I've got 14 balloons on this table and I have to make each one of them into a unique model, and I've got 60 seconds to do it. This whole table, so yes, Simon.
What are you going to do?
He's literally just said what he's going to do.
And do it he did, equalling the current record.
Come Saturday's final, of course, we'd seen all the acts before. And that wasn't where ITV was stopping, with the recycling.
I mean, look at that. Lovely to see the cube getting a bit of use there when it's not been on air for so long.
And so after a week of live TV, top talent and a lot of adverts, it was time to crown this year's highly unique winner.
The winner of Britain's Got Talent 2017 is... Tokyo Mars!
Everybody's favourite journalistic character, Robert Peston, was back with his show, of course, on Sunday morning, and he was giving it the big sell right from the start.
Hello and welcome to another action-packed Peston on Sunday.
Action-packed? I can just imagine Jeremy Corbyn barrel rolling over the front of a car bonnet right now.
He does have some very cool celebrity backers. The actor Danny DeVito tweeting in London saying, Jeremy, June the 8th, show us how it's done. I may be dreaming here, but if you're out there, Danny, watch the interview and tweet us, #Peston. Robert.
Yeah, I have actually heard Danny DeVito's a big Peston on Sunday fan. I'm sure he's on Twitter straight away.
I mean, the issues which were dominant a week ago, the dementia tax and the U-turn that wasn't a U-turn, and the cutting off of winter fuel allowance rate out of 10 pensions, these issues are still being raised very actively on the doorstep. The polls there's been a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, and you don't want polls to be wobbly, do you? So
I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Labour's leader, Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, Corbyn just finishing some coursework marking there before his Peston interview. Now, that interview was rather sombre due to the events in Manchester on Monday, and our thoughts are, of course, with everybody there. As a result, we're going to focus more on the election event, which took place on Friday. It was the Question Time special featuring Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn in something of a debate, not debate.
You called the election for your own political gains. It's nothing to do with good of the country. It's for your own political gains.
Oh, yes, you see, it's question time here, so the audience can answer back.
Because I believe that the British people have a right to vote and to say who they want to see leading them through the Brexit negotiations. And I believe they should have a Prime Minister who has an absolutely resolute determination to respect their will. My party is the only party that is going to respect the will of the British people, get on with the job and deliver a successful Brexit.
Okay. Yeah, get on with the job. That was all a bit Cameron, that, wasn't it? Get on with the job. It's sort of, you can just imagine David Cameron coming on saying, you know, we need to get on with the job.
Just over a year ago, when you were a Remainer, and David Cameron got this wrong and he resigned, you got it wrong and remained to become Prime Minister. You said remaining inside the European Union makes us more prosperous. Yesterday you said Brexit makes us more prosperous. I mean, where are you at on this?
So Top Dimbleby there.
But saying you voted, you've chosen, you want a government that's going to do it for you. And I say to people, if you voted for Brexit, you need to make sure you get it with a government, with me and my team, who will actually deliver it for you.
Yeah, we already had you and your team, to be fair.
Good evening.
Evening.
You don't need to say good evening all the time, because I think we've met.
As always, the audience was varied and they had plenty of questions prepared. Well, most of them did.
The man in green.
Talk about Brexit and Remainers. I think the voting 52% to 48%, I think you'd lack the confidence in asking the public, the electors, to one more time, because the voting was so in the
question
middle.
Coming here?
What would the electors want to do? I think Nigel Farage made a big mess. I think Michael Gove led the electorate.
This is
the
just
wrong way.
opinion.
Boris Johnson.
It's question time, not
buses,
opinion time.
Pasted with NHS, 350 million. We were all
We
told
need
lies.
a sentence
So
that
even
ends
people
in
who
a
voted
question
out,
mark.
Perhaps they should be given the second chance. So you should have the confidence to say, shall we have another vote?
All right, we'll take that as a question. Oh, that's gone down well.
Towards the end of Theresa's questioning, one audience member made a bid for the best quote of the night.
It's possible to help to develop the economy, the governance of that state, and that is of benefit to us in protecting us as a United Kingdom for a whole range of reasons. If we can stabilise some certain countries, then that's going to be better for us, both in terms of security, for example.
Robert,
but we
do you
do
want to
look
come back
very
on?
carefully at individual countries and individual payments.
Yeah, but North Korea.
Yeah, but North Korea, it's sort of sums up a lot of sentiment there without actually saying anything. It's quite clever, that sentence. And May seemed to be becoming a little bit unstuck on the exact details of that aid.
Does the aid budget go to North Korea? Does North Korea receive money from the aid budget from the UK?
Well, the gentleman has suggested that it is. I don't know the details of that.
It's about £4 million in 2015.
£4 million?
Yeah.
OK. You, sir, in the red and white checked shirt.
So you're the Prime Minister of the country and you don't know where that foreign aid is going to, whether it's going to the government or it's actually going to benefit its people.
Jeremy Corbyn was up next, but for someone who's not used as many slogans in his campaign as May has, seemed to be slipping into a few Corbyn cliches.
I've made it very clear we accept the results of the referendum, and I think it's important to go from that point. I've made the point also about the need for trade access to the European Union, and there is, of course, an interest in that on both sides of the Channel. Most of our big manufacturing companies have supply chains here and in Europe, and vice versa. There is a mutual interest in this, but we're not approaching these negotiations by threatening Europe with setting up some kind of low-tax haven for big corporations in this country.
One bloke in the audience seemed to be struggling to remember what his question was.
Let's come home for a moment. Steve Rudd, let's have your question, please.
Yes,
Steve Rudd.
Hi, Steve.
Good evening. Yes, I run a small local business. I'm faced with the possibility of higher corporation tax rates. Obviously, we've alluded to the uncertainty that Brexit's going to create over the next couple of years.
He's just checking his lottery
Yeah,
numbers
you've
there, I
talked
think,
about
while he's
creating
asking his
jobs.
question.
Corbyn's certainly selling a big dream, but he was giving himself a bit of a chance with a sneaky trick I spotted later on.
The woman there on the gangway, you. Yes, you?
Oh, I heard you recently commented that black and ethnic minorities' potential has been, like, locked under Conservatives, and you plan to kind of free up and unlock it. So I just wanted some clarification as to how exactly you plan to do it.
Sorry, I didn't fully hear the question. There was a camera right in front of you at the time.
Yeah, the old camera was in the way trick there, buying himself a bit more time to think of an answer.
Adam Murgatroyd, please. Adam Murgatroyd.
If Britain were under imminent threat from nuclear weapons, how would you react?
Bit of a chestnut question for Jeremy, this one.
Can we just come back to the nuclear issue? You are Prime Minister.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, you're asking a massive wish when you've got one of the biggest arsenals by your side. I'd rather have it and not use it than not have it at all, especially in today's day and age.
Do you want to comment on that? All right.
That was a bit of fun there. Corbyn basically just blanking him there without giving any sort of answer at all.
Are you in favour of reducing immigration overall into this country?
What I think will happen is this. That,
How about what will happen? One lady in the crowd certainly seemed to have gauged the mood of the majority of at least noisy audience participants.
I actually have a question regarding human rights, but...
All right, use your question.
Just before, I don't understand why everyone in this room seems so keen on killing millions of people with a nuclear...
So, it seemed to be a bit of a one-all draw there. How much of an effect will that have on the election? I think it can only really be taken as a piece in a bigger electoral jigsaw. We'll find out exactly how it goes next week, of course, and we'll be back with an election special to review the night and the fallout.
Good night.